Hey guys, Geisha here. Before we jump into today's episode, I want to give a quick warning. This episode may include sensitive topics like violence, murder, suicide, mental health struggles, sexual assault, and other real-life events that could be upsetting. We know that these topics can be tough to hear, and your well-being is super important to us. So please take care of yourself while listening, and feel free to skip this episode if needed. This is Co-op Chronicles, episode 49. Hello and welcome back. This is Co-op Chronicles, episode 49. I am PintsizedGeisha, and as always, I have Blacklabel.
Hello.
And Azzilee.
Hello.
And today's episode is about...
We're each going to talk about murder. Bring it back a little bit. Been talking about games like
Murder.
we normally do a lot, but...
Murder. I've been watching murder for the past 2 days.
2 days?
I watched the O.J. Simpson documentary yesterday. Yeah, and then today.
I don't know why you looked at me like that.
Because you...
Because I heard you're typing.
Because I'm trying to get more information about what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how's everybody's week? How was everybody's week? How's everybody's week? Guess.
Go ahead.
People, whatever.
Hard.
Hard?
My neck hurts. I got like a...
Is it from golfing this morning?
No. It's from work, unfortunately.
What about you, my love?
Work's fine. Next week's going to suck.
Yeah, you're about to be exhausted.
Busy?
Yeah, I'm scheduled for 47 hours.
Yikes.
Yeah, but I'm not saying a word because I could use the overtime.
I'm a little sore from golf. I haven't swung, so my body's not... The muscles that you use, they're a little sore.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do so bad at not hitting the ball in so long, so I was okay I was happy with that.
That's true. I feel like you did pretty well. You're so strong, though.
Man.
He, hit the ball clear over the green.
Yeah,
It's
but
crazy.
I, barely... I wasn't even trying to hit it.
Oh, my goodness.
But who
Don't
wants-
feed his ego.
So we each got 3 murders.
We each have one murder.
I mean, we each have 1 murder, sorry. We each have a murder, so we
I
have
was like,
3
ooh.
total.
Total.
So whoever wants to start, go for it.
Do you guys want to read my blog post at the end of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
feel like this-
Did you
'cause
post? You already started it?
No, this is for
Oh.
class. This one is about our topic is on podcasts. I feel like you guys should read it. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Would you like to go, Geisha?
Sure, I can go first.
Go for
I
it,
want to
honey.
learn something today.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn.
So my murder mystery is about the lead mask case. So, on August 20th, 1966, an 18-year-old boy named George was flying a kite in Brazil I'm going to say it wrong. Vintim Hill near Rio in Brazil. While he's climbing around the bush and rough terrain to retrieve his kite, he noticed something unusual. 2 bodies laying side by side, partially hidden by tall grass and shrubs. He initially thought that it might have been mannequins or prank dummies. He ran home, told his parents, who called the cops. So, when the police arrived, they found... These names are very hard, okay? So I'm going to just call Cruz and Miguel. Cruz and Miguel. Okay, Cruz is one of their last names, and Miguel is the first name of the other one. So they found Mr. Cruz and Mr. Miguel laying side by side, neatly positioned, faced upwards, no visible sign of violence, blood, weapons, no immediate evidence of any struggle. However, both of them were dressed in a clean suit, a raincoat over their suits, even though it wasn't raining, and handmade lead masks covering their faces, which looked thick, like thick, heavy sunglasses. The lead masks weren't full faces, they only covered the eyes, like weird radiation goggles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Close by, police found several strange items. A small notebook contained the cryptid ritual instructions of 1630, be at the specified location, 1830, and just capsule, await single mask. That's what the note said.
Weird.
That's interesting.
That's so creepy.
So I'm sure you're going to get into more detail, but the little boy saw it, ran home, and within the day, all this stuff happened. Okay.
They also found an empty water bottle, likely one that they purchased up, on the way there. 2 wet towels, carefully folded. Cash, a decent amount, still in their pocket. That's all it says. It doesn't say how much. Receipts from the store where they bought the raincoat and water. I can't talk today.
Yeah, I see that.
I know. What was not found was any capsule or drugs, no leftover food, or large personal belongings. No personal belongings were found.
Would they find the capsules if they just swallowed them?
Hopefully, right? You run a toxicology, it should show up, right?
I'm sure you'll get to that.
But however, the bodies were badly decomposed because of the intense Brazilian heat and the time since their death. So it was estimated that they were out there for 3 to 4 days.
Oh,
right. So
because they heat. So it could be off.
Yeah, it could be off, but that's an estimation that they were out there for 3 to 4 days.
Did you say they both had lead masks?
Mm-hmm.
But they were like sunglasses?
Yeah, so they only covered their eyes, and they were wearing a suit and a raincoat over the suit, and then just handmade lead glasses that covered their eyes.
They were wearing suits?
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe they were looking at something.
Yeah. I don't know.
During wasn't when they tested the atom bomb? Didn't they have to wear those glasses or something?
I don't know.
Due to the radiation.
Sounds like some Men in Black stuff.
Yeah, a little bit.
Decomposition was also so advanced that they could not do a toxicology exam.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang.
It couldn't be properly performed. Despite the decay, investigators noted no defensive wounds, no bruising, no trauma, no weapon, no indication that they had rode down the hill or been dragged. So they walked up the hill, and that's where they stayed. Right?
Wow, okay.
They appear to have simply lied down and died.
Question.
Yes.
I don't know if you're going to get into it, let me know, and I'll just stop talking. But so are these locals? Are
Yes.
So they're not tourists?
Nope.
Okay, and so people know who they are, or no, they don't know who they are?
It doesn't really say. I tried to find information more about them themselves, but it was very hard to find.
This is a true story, right?
Yes.
Okay. It's called the lead masks?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
Maybe they're
I'm going to have to look it up
local
later.
of the region, not local of
Maybe they're
city?
local. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
they're local of Brazil, but not
the city.
The city.
Okay.
Yeah. The bodies were also found in a difficult to reach part of the hill. Right. The hill is very rocky, overgrown with shrubs and steep. It's not an easy casual hike, right? It's puzzling how they got there because, look, there was a witness. A witness reported seeing them paying a Jeep driver from the ride partway up the hill. After that, they hiked the rest of the way
Like
up.
an Uber driver to get them there?
Maybe
Okay.
like an Uber. Well, this was in 1966.
Oh,
So they didn't have
okay.
Uber drivers back then.
Did
maybe
you
it was-
say the
taxi
date?
driver.
Yeah,
Oh, you-
August 20th, 1966.
Dang. Okay. Okay.
Let's see.
That's weird that they have a lot of cash, no personal belongings. Cash wasn't taken. Okay.
Yeah, but it raises the questions: why this spot, and who told them to be there?
Yeah. Who were they meeting?
Where were they meeting? Who? What's with this cryptid note?
Yeah.
So the behavior of the witness also reported that they were acting very nervous and checking their watches constantly at the shop while buying the raincoats and water. Some reports suggest that they seemed hesitant as if they were waiting for someone or expecting something. Right? So, again, they were wearing suits and raincoats with no rain, and they're hiking. Why are they hiking in suits? They're laid calm, side-by-side bodies with no signs of panic or distress. They have the lead mask on with no obvious sources of radiation or light. Right? The cryptid note instruction point to a pre-planned ritual. Cash still on body, so robbery, very unlikely. And no capsule was found.
Wait, so I must have missed this part. What is the capsule? What's the capsule you're talking about?
So they also found a note next to their bodies.
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta scroll up. Which said, "Be at the location by 16:30."
Okay.
And just at 18:30, wait for single mask. That's what the note said.
But I mean, where's the capsule? What's the capsule?
Like
That's what I asked.
a pill. Like
But they couldn't. The body was too decomposed, right?
To
Maybe they
do,
couldn't
like,
find
toxicology.
So I'm
Apology.
sure it killed them, right?
Oh.
Was
Probably.
it like cyanide or something?
I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Maybe. But yeah,
so
they
it's
had
like
a strange note.
4:30 and then at 6:30. Okay, interesting.
Hold on, I gotta go down.
My brain just wasn't computing when you kept saying capsule.
Because it
What's a
says
capsule?
Instead of a pill. I'm like, what?
it says 18:30. Be at the specific location.
It just says
Yeah.
the note.
This is the
says
note. What? This
capsule.
is what it says, right? 18:30 and just capsules. ... Awake, single mask. That's all the note said. That was found next to their bodies, right?
That's crazy.
Yes. But they couldn't find a capsule. Their body was too decomposed to do a toxicology, right?
Couldn't. Never mind.
So, sorry, my notes are not in order, so I have to go up.
Quick side note. I apologize
No, go
for
ahead.
bringing this topic up,
Go
but
ahead.
there is this thing in I think it's in Peru, but they're like called like face snatchers or something. It's like aliens, sorry, but like they went around and they like cut people's faces off, and like you couldn't find their face. Maybe they were aliens.
Maybe.
Interesting.
Yes.
That is crazy.
So theories.
Theories.
Drug overdose.
Mm-hmm.
Ritual experiment.
Yep.
Some believe that they were trying to contact extraterrestrials or perform a spiritual ritual involving LSD or other hallucinogenics. These capsules mentioned might have been drugs they took voluntarily.
I feel like every time some crazy, bizarre
aliens.
shit happens, yes. There's no witnesses. Nobody's there. They're fucking dressed in suits. I mean, I'd be like, yo, they're on some alien shit. And I'm not even about that.
Exactly.
But that's that's odd.
It's unexplained.
That is
Yes.
very interesting.
Radiation experiment is another one. Since they were electronic technicians, some suggest they were attempting to build a device involving radiation or light something.
So did they? Okay, so they know their names.
Yeah.
So and you just said they were electric technicians. What's the background on them? Because you didn't cover that.
So this goes, yeah. So like they're goggle thingies. So maybe they were like experimenting. So maybe the capsule was like an experimental drug they were testing to see if like, so like for X-rays you need to wear the vest so you don't get exposed. Maybe they were experimenting to where like the capsule, like when you ingest it, it's some kind of chemical compound that just like goes through your body and you don't need.
Yeah, that's
protection
interesting.
You need
from
a
radiation.
right, but you need a raincoat.
Hey, look.
But your eyeballs might not be protected.
But that they were wearing their thingies, their
Yeah,
glasses.
the lead glasses
Yeah.
thingies.
I have
Okay.
no idea.
I don't know either. Okay, so Mr. Cruz was 32 years old at the time of his death. He was a electronic technician. He lived in Campos de Goncalves, whatever, 170 miles away from Rio de Janeiro.
Okay.
Oh my God, I can't.
Yeah, like what's going on with you right now?
I know. He was known for his intelligence and technical skills. He was married and had children. Friends and coworkers said that he was very interested in science, especially electronics, radio waves, and the possibility of electromagnetic phenomenons. Mr. Miguel was 34 years old at the time of his death, same profession. He also lived in the same town 170 miles away. A close personal friend, and he was friends with Mr. Cruz. He was described as serious, methodical, and interested in radio technology and science. What is this word? Spiritualism. What is science spiritualism?
So you use science to like contact the supernatural or like spirits.
Yeah, you know how they used to do those seances and stuff?
Yeah.
With like radios back then?
Like they would create like
they would have a medium.
You could create like a camera that captures what do you call it?
Like the Ghoul Boys?
Ectoplasm kind of stuff. Or
yeah, you never
radios to talk to the dead.
Wasn't there what was the movie where they caught the plasm coming out of their face?
Ivan Ooze.
It was like it's part of that universe that you
Power Rangers.
You like. No, babe.
No, it wasn't that a part of the universe, but it is a scary movie.
Yeah, it is. And
The Haunting of Connecticut or something like
that.
And
he was like a medium, and then they would take pictures and you would see the
doctor
ectoplasm come out of their mouth.
Used this kid as a medium, and like the ectoplasm came out of him.
Yeah, it would come out.
When I think of science spiritualism, I think of Scientology and people thinking aliens.
I mean,
implanted
right now,
the image of Jesus.
Right now,
into
I'm thinking aliens with this case.
Yeah. But they were lifelong friends, business partners. They worked together repairing electronic devices, TVs, radios. They were both heavy involved in experiments and so on and so forth. Let's see.
I wonder if their raincoats were actual raincoats and not like
a lead base.
Yeah, like not like lead base, or maybe something like
something protective.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it is like.
Was it raining at the time?
No. Despite no rain, baby.
Oh, sorry.
Despite no rain.
Yeah, there's definitely something going on with those rain jackets.
Yeah, maybe spiritualism where they were like trying to contact the dead. Maybe it was some kind of like LSD trip to like,
I don't know.
Travel worlds, dimensions.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
Anything that has to do with like aliens or the supernatural, I love.
I definitely feel like that's the case right now. Because they weren't like murdered. They weren't like stabbed or anything, you know what I mean? Like shot or something.
Yeah,
like
I just thought it was
dramatic happened.
Maybe this isn't murder mystery. Sorry.
No,
this
is good. This is still a murder. It's a mystery.
Yeah, it's a mystery.
Yeah.
And
they're
just
dead.
Weird 'cause, so like the way they're linking it to like spiritualism is kind of weird because like they are, their profession was in like
science,
like technology stuff like that. So it's just odd that there's like nothing.
Yes.
Take this capsule. Be here. Done.
Yeah. Like I wonder who are they talking to?
I don't know who they get the note from.
Exactly.
Who knows?
Maybe because this is like such a old, like 1980s, right?
1960s.
1960s. Maybe they like just didn't track down enough
60s.
people to get information.
I don't know. Also, I saved the best information for last.
Nice.
Well, I think so, right? It's like a type of information, right? Some of their relatives later admitted that Cruz and Miguel had spoken of a mission, but had been very secretive about it.
What mission?
Interesting.
No.
So they were on a mission from someone or something, and that is what happened.
Okay, hear me out. This is crazy, and this is like a conspiracy theory. It's not what I truly believe in. But so, you know, like there's like technology that you can't, like, that is around but not talked about because of like the government.
Yeah.
But
They're listening.
and it's like unlimited energy and stuff like that. Like that kind of topic. But like maybe they were onto something like that, and like they got because they had that information.
They
and
had
the government's
Area 51 information.
I always feel like, if I'm missing after this, but I always feel like you always hear cases about somebody created or invented something out of nothing to help people, and then something happens to them, or their device or something gets bought out, and you never hear about it. Like there was a little girl that created a filter or something. Somebody created a filter out of basically nothing, like an air filter out of nothing. And like you haven't heard anything about it. Like it was weird. Like
is it the one where she built the filter that can test your blood to early detect cancer?
I don't know. I don't know who it was. Or I mean,
I heard that one.
I don't exactly know, but
cool.
But I heard it on the internet, so who knows if it was real or not.
And there's like another one where like somebody's trying to create fuel out of trash, but I'm not sure how that's going, but it's interesting. And he like posts things, but he keeps his location and everything blocked so nobody knows where he's at, so he doesn't get got.
Smart.
There's a guy who actually did that. He created like a gas energy through something. I can't remember what it was, but it ended up dying.
Oh yeah,
him
I know
or the project?
Him.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
He like disappeared. Like, he's gone forever.
Yeah. But what about like a quantum computer?
What do you mean? I'm sure we have a quantum computer already.
Not yet, but I wrote an article about it for class, and I was just like, oh my god! Like, can you imagine if somebody actually made?
They're probably working on it right now.
They are.
I mean,
they
there's
are
quantum
working on
processors
it, but
and
I'm
stuff.
just like, oh my god! Can you imagine a computer that's going to be that?
Did you see Japan? I don't know if it's Japan or
that quick and that fast.
Japan or China.
Skynet.
And they're
Is this
freaking
called Skynet?
Skynet.
They like were the first they hit like some crazy speed, like technology speed, like on the internet. It's insane the amount of speed, but I forgot what it was. But look it up.
That's
Anyways, I'm going off topic, but yes, that is mine. I don't know. I think I lean more towards like
Aliens.
No, I lean more towards like rituals and like demon possession and other worlds and supernatural than I do for aliens. Yeah.
Before
aliens, I'll lean toward like
sense.
they were trying to communicate with the devil or something.
I feel like it's more so government stuff, like men in suits go up there, take a capsule, they got some weird note. I don't know. That's just weird. It doesn't seem like some sort of demon thing. Like a demon's gonna write to him like, "Hey, yo, this is Balthazar. I need you to take this pill at 16:30."
Well, not even just like demon or something like that, or maybe it's maybe like the cult related type of situation.
That's a good.
Thought.
Okay.
Like I can't remember where I heard it from, and I don't know if it's actually correct or not because I'm not gonna lie, I've never read the Bible. I tried to read the Bible; it's very confusing.
There's so many
if you look upon like a spirit or an angel or something like that, your eyes will like burn out or something, and maybe that's why they were wearing the eyes thingy.
Oh, who knows?
Interesting. Oh, that's a good point.
Maybe it's like a cult experiment to try to summon a demon or an angel or something. I don't know. I don't know what about the capsules though. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably super wrong, but
it does sound like a cult now that I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I lean more towards like cults before aliens. You know.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing, Miss Geisha.
They're the men in black, and they got stuck here.
Probably.
Yes. Azzilee, you may take the floor. I'll go last.
Okay. Mine definitely does lean a little bit paranormal, supernatural, but could be real life murder.
Okay.
But it's the haunting of Cindy James.
Nice.
Okay.
Now, did you know that Cindy James was found hogtied, drugged, and dead behind an abandoned house? Her hands and feet were bound behind her back, a nylon stocking tied tightly around her neck. But the official cause of death? Not homicide. Not even an accident. It was ruled undetermined.
How do you get hogtied and be undetermined?
It is wild. Her story is wild. I've never heard of it, and I was flabbergasted.
I'm gonna need you to stop clicking over there, please.
I'm closing out my.
I'm hearing her talk, and I'm like, clickety.
I'm closing out all my stuff that I just read from.
So, how old is Cindy James?
Cindy James was 56.
What? This happened to an elderly.
How
is 56 elderly?
56 is elderly.
Oh, sorry. 44.
I mean, what do you mean? How old?
I don't think 56 is elderly.
What do you think is elderly?
Like 80.
I feel like past 50 is a little bit elderly.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Yeah, I got like 10 years.
I'm sorry.
Then I'm elderly.
God, I don't even. Oh my goodness.
This case does take place in the 1980s, though.
Oh, not too far.
No.
Too far.
So for nearly 7 years, Cindy James told friends, police, and even her family that someone was stalking her. threatening her, attacking her. She reported over 100 incidents, but no suspect was ever caught. Some people said she was paranoid. Others believed her. And then she died.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's insane.
But can you imagine, like, 7 years of, like, reporting incidents and, like, no one can do anything about it, and then you just suddenly die, and they're like, well,
I feel like
undetermined.
I feel like a lot of things happen like that, where a case of stalking. I remember me and Geisha watched a video. It was like a MA or a nurse, and she was, like, in a nursing home, and one of her coworkers was crazy, and he kept stalking her, and he ended up, like, going to there and shooting her. But during the time, during the time that it happened, I believe it was like 9/11. So her whole case was overlooked.
Oh.
But I'm pretty sure that was the point, because they made a point about, like, this happened around 9/11, and so her case was kind of not like newsworthy. Yeah, because everything was about, you know, the towers and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tonight we're gonna delve into Canada's most chilling unsolved case. Okay. So, who was Cindy James? She was a 42-year-old nurse who lived in Richmond, British Columbia. Intelligent, caring, and private. She had just finalized a divorce from her husband, Dr. Roy Makepeace.
A nurse married a doctor?
He was a respected physician. Oh, sorry,
Money.
Psychiatrist.
Money.
And it was shortly after this divorce that strange things began to happen to her. So, in the spring of 1982, Cindy reported receiving disturbing phone calls, silent at first, then whispering, then threatening. Strange notes began to appear at her door, her porch lights were smashed, her phone lines were cut, and at one point she found her dog nearly strangled. Sorry, what?
I was gonna say, it was the ex. He's
It's
he's a psychiatrist. He knows how to fuck with people.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I wanted to say.
No,
Yeah.
It's always the ex. Side note, there is a really good documentary on Netflix about stalking. It's like Love, Death Stalking, or Love, Death something. You guys should watch it. It's really good. I'm going to find it.
Once she started, like, reporting these things, police began to investigate, but nothing stuck. No fingerprints, no credible leads, and when the stalker escalated, so did Cindy's fear, obviously.
Yeah.
She was at one point found semi-conscious in her garage with a nylon stocking tied tightly around her neck. Another time, a friend found her with her hands and feet bound and a needle in her arm.
Jesus.
And, like, from the way that the nylon was tied, there's no way she could have stuck the needle in herself and then tied herself up.
Mm-hmm. Was it, like in her vein?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And at another time, she was found wandering the streets, knocked on her neighbor's door, and so, like, the neighbor called the police. She was taken to the hospital, and she, like, is, like, kind of out of it, right? And she's like, oh, I remember being, like, drugged with something, and they checked her arm, and, like, yeah, there's, like, obvious markings of a needle being placed in her arm.
Mm-hmm.
Also to note, so one of the constables, I believe that's the word that Canada uses, one of them was working on her case, and she casually started dating him, and so he offered to move into her place for a couple weeks to, like, keep an eye out, maybe catch the killer or the stalker, and but nothing happened. He couldn't. The stalker did not bother her for those 2 weeks, or if, like, anything happened to her, they couldn't figure it out what happened. So he eventually moved out afterwards.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then this is when everything started to, like, build up. So by 1984, Cindy had changed her name, painted her car, and moved multiple times. But the threats followed her, which is insane.
Her.
Yeah, maybe. She kept detailed logs of the incidents, consulted with private investigators, even took self-defense classes. One investigator said he believed her, that he saw shadows outside her window and heard the phone ring with no one on the line before. The police, however, grew skeptical. There was no physical evidence and no witnesses. Some officers believed Cindy was staging the incident herself, a cry for help or attention.
Interesting.
Again, victim blaming? Wow.
That's crazy.
But she passed all these polygraph tests that they put her through. She was terrified, honestly. And she told her family she thought she was going to get murdered.
And this is like over 7 years.
This is over 7 years of her experiencing all of this.
That's bizarre. Is it mental, or like clearly somebody's doing something if she couldn't have like did it to herself?
So the crazy thing is it's not mental because, well, it could be, but there were she got tons of letters, like the creepy stalker kind where they cut out the letters of the newspaper. She's gotten tons of notes like that. A lot of notes said she was gonna die, they couldn't wait to kill her, stuff like that, and like crazy things. And even her ex-husband reported like getting these notes sent to his house about her. And he's gotten phone calls saying like she's about to die and stuff like that.
I'm gonna have to remove these from you because I keep hearing you need to stop fidgeting.
I love touching it.
Yeah, you need to stop fidgeting.
I took mine. I took mine off and I put it on yours. You have two.
Oh.
Because I kept playing with mine too.
No, they come with two.
Oh, well, I don't have any on mine.
Yeah.
I don't know what I did with
I'll
them.
just put them on this one.
And that's crazy. So all this stuff happened over 2 years or 7 years.
7.
Mm-hmm. That guy moves in. Nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
That's what leads me to think like she might be going through some mental health, like something.
Like maybe she's doing it, but then
how does she tie herself up?
How she was dead, right? You said she was found dead?
She was found dead eventually.
Yeah, so
eventually.
So
hog-tied.
So like there was no like murder. There was no.
Not yet.
So she just died of.
She was hog-tied.
I will
get into it.
I will tell you though that so the way they found her was in the backyard of a neighbor's house. They had this like propane tank, storage tank, and it was spray painted like bright orange, and it had something. It was like something really mean about her, and then it had like there was a spray painted arrow that like led to like farther back into the yard, and then she was found like in a circle of spray paint, and then it was like they wrote devil or something in the spray paint. Yeah, it was crazy. So I don't think she did it herself.
Yeah, that is
a little crazy.
That's interesting.
On May 25th, 1989, Cindy disappeared. Her car was found parked at a shopping mall. Inside were groceries, a wrapped gift for her friend's son, whose party she was going to, and her purse. And then blood was found all over the driver's side door. 2 weeks later, on June 8th, her body was discovered in the backyard of a house about 1.5 miles from where her car had been found. She was hogtied with her hands and feet behind her back. She had been injected with a fatal dose of morphine and other sedatives.
Oh, it's the doctor.
Despite the bindings, despite the drugs, despite the position of her body, the coroner did not rule it a murder.
How?
Yeah. How do you... So did they think that it was self-caused? So
They truly believe that... Well, so they think that...
Does she have access to morphine?
No.
Well, she
probably does.
She's a nurse.
But
it depends on where she works.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of people believed it was suicide.
I don't understand. Did you know that a coroner's office only has 5 choices to put on an autopsy? Suicide, homicide, accidental, unknown, and I forget the last one.
Oh. Well, maybe they couldn't determine it as suicide because of like the way she was murdered, and they can't say she was murdered because they don't have evidence of a physical
But
person.
they also have an unknown or undetermined.
Yeah, that's what it's undetermined for her. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say.
Yeah. So they were like, so the question arose from why it's not a suicide, but why they don't think it's actual murders. They can't figure out how she would have injected herself with morphine, stashed the needle and drugs, and then bound herself. They were like, there's no way she would have been conscious enough to tie herself up.
Because I'm assuming they would find it in her household.
Or close by.
Yeah.
Or maybe she did it and she like threw it.
Maybe.
But you would still find it.
Yeah.
It's not like you can throw it
they
far.
would have like dogs that could search up that, I would assume back
I don't
then,
think you
in
can
the
have a
80s or
drug-smelling dog, babe.
They do have drug-smelling
yeah.
dogs at the airport.
Not for liquid morphine.
I mean, you never know.
I think they do.
Crack.
They can
Cocaine.
track
Cocaina.
specific types of drugs, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you.
No, stop it right now. Just let us continue.
So a couple theories were, theory one was Cindy was suffering from a severe mental illness, possibly a dissociative identity disorder. Mm-hmm. She could have staged the attacks, tied herself up, even caused her own death in a fugue state, which seems crazy to me. I don't know about that. That one kind of throws me for a loop. Mm-hmm. Theory two, which I think we all thought of, was the ex-husband. Mm-hmm. Dr. Makepeace, he was the only person Cindy ever named as a possible subject. So, backstory...
Who was that?
Her ex-husband.
Okay.
So, backstory was Cindy... Okay, sorry. I'll keep going first. So, he denied it, claimed she was delusional, but he had the skills to manipulate and gaslight her.
Yes.
Could he have been behind the stalking the entire time?
I believe so.
Possibly. Cindy herself made conflicting statements regarding Makepeace, telling authorities she did not think he was capable of tormenting her, but also divulged to friends and coworkers that he was violently abusive during their marriage.
So she's like contradicting herself.
Yep.
Yes. This is where people are like, maybe she was crazy and she was like asking for help.
Yeah.
But it's also weird because like he was cool with like her and the guy she was dating, and they would like hang out sometimes. Like they were cool. So like her saying this stuff about him being like abusive and like not a good person, and then hanging out with him just kind of was like, I feel like you are crazy.
Disassociated.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then theory three was someone else entirely. A stranger, a patient, maybe a coworker. Someone who remained in the shadows. Someone who knew how to terrify without being caught. Cindy underwent hypnotherapy at one point where she divulged witnessing a double murder but said nothing else about the matter. People from her work reported constant phone calls where either no one spoke or things were said about killing her. So this is where people...
so they actually got these calls.
So the husband also thought maybe it was something like mafia related because he was also getting these phone calls and stuff, and like nobody ever saw the people who were, or the person who was stalking or harassing her and like did all this crazy stuff to her. So he's like, maybe she was part of some kind of like mafia hit.
That's interesting.
Do you know what department she was a nurse in?
I do not. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Because you don't have access to morphine in every single department.
Yeah. That's interesting. This is a good case. That was good.
It's very, it just says she was a nurse. I don't know, sorry.
Interesting. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of things happening. So she's getting all these calls. She's found gagged or had things over her head tied up. People are calling her work, so other people are like confirming her claims and stuff, like and saying like these people are calling.
Private investigator even said he saw like shadows in her house.
Oh yeah, I forgot you mentioned that. Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Maybe it was a hit.
Can you hire a private investigator to investigate yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. You could hire them to probably do anything.
Yeah, you probably massage my feet.
Can I hire a private investigator to figure out the first 10 years of my life since I don't remember it?
Yeah, I don't really remember my first 10 years.
Hypnotherapy.
Yeah. I just want to know all the facts of my childhood.
Yeah, me too. I can't remember past or before 10. I can't remember that stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people can't.
I know.
Awesome.
So, more than 30 years later, no one knows who or what killed Cindy James.
There was no DNA evidence or anything?
No, there was nothing. They found nothing.
No footprints.
That's crazy. Nothing. I wonder how many cases there are that are like that, where there's nothing.
A lot.
Yeah.
Way more than there should be, to be honest.
And it's surprising considering it was in like the mid 1980s.
Yeah. But that's where like serial killing was top notch right there.
No,
the
like
80s,
the
90s. No,
True.
the 80s and 90s were like
Plus, this was in Canada, so maybe
Canada's
they don't.
Supposed to be nice.
Maybe they don't take things
Back
like
then,
this
it
more
was.
seriously.
That's insane.
The crazy part about this whole thing, so over the whole time period that she was going through this, the police invested 1.5 million Canadian dollars into her case, and nothing was ever figured out.
Wow. So they did.
They
try.
looked. They tried.
They tried. Maybe not
Really
their
hard.
hardest, according to people in her life and James herself, but that's a lot of money.
That's
to
a lot
invest.
of money. Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, just
What was this? What was this case called?
it's called The Haunting of Cindy James.
Oh, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
fascinating. I don't think it's supernatural, unfortunately.
No.
It's a bummer, but I do think maybe the mafia. She
Yeah.
could have been, because she said she witnessed a double murder, so.
Yeah, it's
But I
confusing,
feel like-
man. I think
I feel like if you witnessed a double murder, the mafia would just take you out. They wouldn't play with you first.
Yeah.
They would just be like, get some.
especially
cement
over
shoes.
7
That's
years.
true.
7
You know?
years, they wouldn't have let you live 7 days.
Yeah.
Like,
You'd be taken out real quick.
I mean, and it did start after she divorced her husband.
I think it was the ex. Psychiatrist,
But a
access to
psychiatrist
drugs.
doesn't have access to morphine.
Are you sure? Maybe
Yes.
back then. You never know
Maybe
back then.
back then the rules will be
Yeah.
different, right? But the only people who really have access to morphine are going to be like ER nurses, ER doctors, not even oncology. It's not like you keep a bottle of morphine.
I
don't know.
I think back then it was different. I think
no,
in some cases, yeah, I think so.
no.
Okay.
A psychology morphine is a Schedule 2 drug. They keep that under lock and key. We keep our lidocaine under
You have
lock
to
and
think
key.
it's the 80s, babe, and it's in Canada.
That's true. Maybe it's Canada. Maybe
In-
Canada's different. I
In
don't
the
know.
movie Knives Out, this girl was taking care of an old man, and she just had a bottle of morphine.
This is true.
That is true.
It's also a movie. so-
Yeah.
Also, it was a movie. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
I don't know. That's so weird.
yeah.
It's weird that they haven't figured it out.
I
Like,
think
with
that-
the little notes that they can't find a fingerprint.
Yeah.
I think
that's what I'm saying.
she might have had a psychotic break.
Yeah, for 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe after she divorced her husband, she just snapped
Okay.
with all the supposed abuse he put her through.
Yeah. All right.
I just don't know how I mean, you can tie your legs together and then tie your arms together and then slip them behind your back. You know,
How?
you can't do that.
How can you slip them behind your hogtie?
You
I'm not flexible, so I can't.
okay,
do
that's
that.
Well, you're huge.
I can't do that.
You would tie your hands and then put
Yeah,
your
you
feet through them.
Put
Oh,
your
yeah,
feet through
that's
them
not-
to get them to the back.
That's not happening with me.
Yeah.
I can't even crisscross applesauce. All right, my turn.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to talk about a case that a lot of people know about. It's been a case for, I don't think it's solved. Yeah, it's not solved. It's a cold case. It's been around since, I believe, the 80s. So I'm going to talk about the Keddie Cabin Murders. So it was in Cabin 28, Keddie,
Yeah.
California.
Keddie.
Was the home to the Sharp family. On April 12th, 1981, 4 people were violently murdered and went missing without clear explanation. So the reason why I want to talk about this one is because a lot of podcasts and documentaries pop up about this case, and there's always somebody saying that there's new evidence being yielded and new information about the case. And then, I just want to discuss some of the theories and some of the missed opportunities, some of the suspects, and the modern forensic approaches that might have helped. So, a little background on this. We're going to talk about the Sharps. To really understand the tragedy, we need to know who they are. So, Sue Sharp's past, she was the mother, escaping an abusive marriage, seeking peace and a fresh start for her children. Her family was John, who was 15, Sheila, who was 14, Tina, 12, Rick, 10, and Greg, 5. They were adapting to their new rural life. Dana was also there. She was Dana Wingate. She was John's close friend, so she was in this cabin at the time, and she was innocently caught in this tragic thing. It was just for her to try to have a sleepover, you know?
Oh.
Yeah. So it was kind of sad. actually.
It's worse when there's like an innocent bystander.
Yeah, who's not even a part of anything, who just gets caught in it. So the timeline is, for this crime, I want to reconstruct it. So we get a timeline because we know timelines are crucial. So the victims were last seen, Sue, John, Dana. They were confirmed returning to cabin 28 around midnight by neighbors. Around 1:30, neighbors said they heard strange noises and faint screams, but they dismissed them, assuming it was like, them just playing, It's a cabin full of kids and stuff. Sheila returned from a sleepover around 7:45, and this is where she discovered the brutal crime scene. So it's kind of, Tina Sharp was missing, initially overlooked by the investigators, but then her remains were discovered 3 years later, showing investigative flaws. So that's where, like, this case is, you're like, how do you not find a person's body until 3 years later?
What if they were, like, taken, though? Like, left to, like, decompose, all that good stuff, and then the killer put them back?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think her body was around the cabin.
Never mind then.
Yeah. I think she got away, or something happened. I don't know.
Okay.
Some of the crime scene analyses? Oh, anyways. Victims were bound with medical tape, electrical cords, and they were attacked brutally with knives and a hammer, showing some extreme rage. Mm-hmm. So maybe it was personal. Because isn't that how normal, when something's like, when it was overdone, isn't it usually like a personal attack?
This was definitely a man. Mm-hmm. Only men kill in anger.
Yeah, okay.
Women just snap.
In such aggressive ways. Women are calculated.
Yeah. Some of the murder weapons were never recovered, indicating premeditated or strategic cover-up. Mm-hmm. There was no theft, so despite all the brutality, valuables were untouched, implying that the crime wasn't robbery motivated. There was some contradictions into this whole issue. So Rick and Greg, they were unharmed during this, who are, what were they, 10 and 5 years old?
Oh, thank gosh.
Yeah, so they slept unharmed nearby, raising questions of why did the attackers spare them?
You don't kill kids.
It was them.
There was kids. No,
killed the sisters.
There was kids. There was 12-year-old, 14-year-old, and 15-year-old. So there's a lot.
Oh.
There's a lot of kids in there. It was the 2 boys.
No,
A
5-year-old and a 10-year-old.
Yep.
With massive, and they killed the mom too.
Yep.
No.
With all the murder I've been watching lately.
No, I don't think a 10-year-old has enough power to whack someone with
Or
sleeping.
carry a mother.
If they're all sleeping.
To do enough damage to
You haven't
murder
even
them?
let me finish talking, and you're assuming it's a 10-year-old and 5.
Just saying.
So, and also, it was overlooked. There was a bloody footprint near the scene, strangely not pursued by authorities. So, which is weird. So why I don't understand why they would think a key piece of evidence like a footprint was never pursued. It just, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Theory. The killer worked for the police department.
Listen.
Second
I'm
theory.
going to get into it.
Okay.
Second theory. It was the dad. And the dad.
I haven't even gave theories. Can I continue?
Me finish.
I didn't interrupt you and be like, yo, I think this is what...
You actually did interrupt me.
No, I asked questions.
Yes.
I didn't give you theories right away.
Anyways, theory. It was the dad. And dads are more attached to sons than they are daughters. And that's why he kept the sons alive. Anyways, keep going.
Great point, though.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. And also,
I should be a detective.
Also, I don't understand why the neighbors would ignore sounds that sound like that. Like, you would think, I mean, I guess it was, 1981? But you would think back then people were probably, like, on edge all the fucking time. Like,
no.
Aren't they, like, more friendly? So wouldn't they investigate?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, wouldn't they...
They're like, oh, my neighbors are they're making weird noises. Let me go check on them.
Yeah. I don't understand that.
Side note real quick.
Yes.
The other night when I stayed up really late watching you, right? I went to bed like at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? I'm just falling asleep and I hear this weird ass sound coming from the closet. It was kind of like a blowing sound, like a sound, right? And I remember waking up and I'm like, freaking cats, you know, how'd they get in here? But then the gate was closed and I don't know what it was. And I was like, should I investigate or should I just lay here?
And
then
you
I just
decided to lay here?
Yeah, I'm hoping nobody like is living in our crawl space and that little sound was a little thing opening. Just saying.
Next time, fucking wake me up. That's not even funny. You hear some shit, hey, babe, I'll go grab a golf club or a big-ass knife, and I'll investigate with these hands. You know what I'm saying?
But maybe we need to put something in our little thing, just in case.
Yeah.
In the middle of our closet.
Yeah, that's.
But it literally was like, it was loud to where I woke up, and it was just like an air sound. And I was like, I have no idea what the sound is, but I'm going back to bed.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Well, you didn't die, so.
Yeah. But then I just got done watching murder. So
Yeah.
Who knows?
So I want to talk about some investigation errors, like how do you pronounce that word?
Negligence.
Negligence, thank you, or intentional issues. So there was some ignored evidence. Bloody jacket and a knife were found near the scene. They were mishandled or dismissed, so like they weren't even brought up. Mm-hmm. There was a delay in identification, so Tina's remains were discovered in 1984. So that's 3 years. Mm-hmm. They went unidentified by the police for months, highlighting complete
negligence.
Yes, from the team's investigation. Mm-hmm. There were suspects and witnesses were superficially questioned, and they didn't explore any crucial leads or contradictions. So it's just very suspicious that the police department didn't really push harder. You would think like investigation errors are obviously going to shape this case and make it seem more corrupt.
Where was this at?
Yeah, I was
California.
Keddie, California.
Yeah. Keddie, California. But you also have to think of the demographics. What if Keddie, California is such a small town that the police don't know how to handle something like this, and they can't
call in the big boys.
Yeah,
like the FBI, maybe. Yeah,
maybe. Or
but that's the only person you can call. You can't
nearby town.
Can you do that? Because it's their jurisdiction.
Maybe they do like inter-department
advising
thingy.
council.
Yeah. If they're so small.
Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of cases that are mishandled are from smaller communities where the police don't necessarily know how to handle like a murder in their tiny town.
It's fair.
Was it? Well, I think it was pretty tiny actually, because I remember the Ghoul Boys covered this, and I remember it was like one of their first seasons. So when they were starting out, it was very they were like nervous because people were driving by them and looking at them like who are you guys? Yeah, well, who are you people? Like, why are you people? So it was like, it made it seem like the town kind of knew what was happening.
The population was 66 at the 2010 census.
2010? Yeah, so it's extremely
small. So again, I think the police department don't know how to handle something this massive when it's a quadruple murder. What is 4? Is it 4 or 3?
Mom,
the lady,
and the two daughters.
4. It was 4 or 5, right?
It was 4. Yeah. Quadruple is what? 3?
No, I think it was 4 or 5. Yeah.
What's 5?
Quintuplet.
No, Quinn is. Oh yeah, I think you're right.
I don't know.
Quinn is 6. Because I remember the quintuplet movie. I don't know what 5 is. It could be Quinn.
Septuple.
I don't know. Anyways, a lot of murder.
Yeah, I'm good. Now you made me lose track of what I was talking about. What was I talking about?
That the police overlooked a lot of stuff.
Okay.
So
yeah.
The negligence of
the
them.
negligence.
The negligence? No, Let me see it. Hold on. I'm sorry. I lost like my whole my brain is not braining.
Take another sip of coffee.
I already drank it. I need another one.
Don't blame it on me. I was just saying, I brought up a really good point. Their freaking population is 66.
Which is crazy.
Could have been a little bit bigger back in 1980s.
It probably still less than maybe 1,000 though. That's a tiny town.
Yeah. So we hear some prime suspects. The Marty and Bo Bidet. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. So Marty's therapist confessions Marty's therapist confessed. Marty reportedly confessed to his therapist, explicitly stating involvement. Yeah, should I explain who these people are?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe first.
So, Marty Smart. Marty was a neighbor of the Sharp family living in the Keddie Resort at the time of the murders. He worked as a cook at the Keddie Resort's bar, and he was known to have a violent temper. He was reportedly abusive to his wife, Marilyn Smart, who was actually friends with Sue Sharp, the person that was found later,
Smart and sharp.
Yeah. Notably after the murders, Marty allegedly confessed to his therapist saying, "I killed Sue Sharp, but I didn't have anything to do with the boys." The confession was never properly followed up by law enforcement at the time, and he also left town very suddenly after the murders. Later reports suggested he had a relationship with the local sheriff, Doug Thomas, which may have protected him from serious investigation. John Bobaday, also known as Bo, was a friend of Marty Smart, who was staying with Marty at the Keddie Resort at the time of the murders. Bo was known with criminal ties tied to organized crime and had a lengthy rap sheet for violent crimes, fraud, and other offenses. Witnesses claimed that Bo and Marty were at the same bar at the night of the murders, but their alibis did not match completely. After the murders, Bo also quickly left Keddie without much explanation. Some investigators believe Bo may have directly involved in the killings, or may have been directly involved in the killings, or at least at least help cover it up. So the reason why, obviously, they were both suspects was they had shaky alibis. Mm-hmm. Marty's own confession to a therapist was ignored. Aren't you supposed to report shit like that?
So mandating reporting for a therapist is if you're a harm to yourself, if you're a harm to anybody else.
Yeah. So if you say,
or if you're planning to kill somebody else.
Yeah. So if you say I killed those people, that's like a thing they should say, right?
Not necessarily, because if they can back it up with proof and facts about the case, then yes, probably. But a lot of people have thoughts and ideas about killing somebody, but they never act on it. That's the difference.
Patient privileges.
Yes, it all kind of depends. It's a really fine line. You have to have an active plan, a place, a time, how you would do it, and that is when you can report it. Hey, I think this person is going to unalive someone or themselves because they have an active plan.
And also, some people say Marty Smart. He wasn't really just some random guy. He was the neighbor. He was an abusive husband, and some think that Sue Sharp was telling his wife to leave him because he was so abusive.
Because she just got out of an abusive
relationship. So she was probably giving her advice, hey, you should probably leave him. It's not good, and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's well, let me go back up now.
One thing I don't understand is that he said something that he didn't have anything to do with the boys. In what content? The boys didn't have any harm to them.
No, there was some.
I thought you said the two young boys slept through the whole thing.
Yeah. But there's also, let me freaking scroll up to my damn thingy. There's also John died. And but John, Sheila, Tina died.
So it's only one boy.
Yeah, it's only one boy. Yeah.
No.
I killed the wife, but it had nothing to do with the boys.
Yeah. Quote unquote, I had nothing to do with the boys. So that is where I do not believe his accusation.
Oh, because the maybe he just thinks all of them were killed.
Yeah, because it's not lining up, right?
Oh,
true.
So he's
That's true.
trying to take the blame. Not trying, but he's oh, I definitely did that, even though he didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I should be a detective.
Yeah, and then so all that happened. Given the strength of the suspicion against these guys, I would think that there would be some sort of investigation, but they just left town. Nothing really was pushed on these guys, considering he was really close with Doug Thomas, the sheriff at the time, and like Azzilee said, there was only 66 people. I don't know the amount back then, but can't be as more. There's also a possible cover-up as I stated with the sheriff. Sheriff's friendship with Marty, Doug Thomas, allegedly discouraged pursuing Marty as a suspect and ignoring strong circumstantial evidence towards him. Some of the local rumors persisted of police deliberately mishandling evidence, possibly due to drug trade, connections, or personal loyalty. Years later, some investigators claimed higher-ups ordered them to minimize the investigation efforts on this case for some reason. I'm not sure why they would do this, but clearly it seems like some sort of cover-up is happening. It's like that one movie with the funny English guy, and their town's all like they win all these the best town type of stuff, but behind the scenes they murder bad people.
Oh,
I don't know where. No,
it was the guy from Shaun of the Dead.
Nope.
No,
No.
Nothing.
I got nothing.
Nope.
Nothing. Okay.
Sorry, I don't
Sorry.
know. Don't
Nope.
follow.
No,
his
hold up.
movies.
I'm Googling that real quick. Now it's on my mind. Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead. Of the Dead. People know what I'm talking about. They have to know. Hot Fuzz.
They were
Nope.
murdering people?
You've never seen this movie?
No.
Nope.
I'm sorry. I found no inclination to watch it.
It's
Same.
It's like a comedy funny movie.
Yeah. I know it's comedy funny. I just know the scene where he jumps over the fence.
I just remember the one scene where they push like a pyramid head statue type thing, and it lands and it just crushes and goes inside the person's body, and there's blood everywhere. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was bad.
Very, very bad. What was I talking about? I keep forgetting what I'm talking about, and I'm not blaming you guys. But yeah, again, people think that, there was a cover-up. Is that where I left off?
Yeah, cover up from the police department because the sheriff was really good friends with somebody else. Something.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Yeah. But I think he wanted to distance himself from the murder of the children, mainly Rick and Greg Sharp, who were the younger boys who survived and were left unharmed. Marty and his friend Bo Bidet were suspected to have many to be involved in the murder. Again, they killed Sue Sharp, John Sharp, Dana Wingate, who's John's friend, and Tina Sharp, Sue's daughter. They were who was later abducted and found deceased. Like I said, Rick and Greg. I think. Yeah, it's weird that they were just left untouched and sleeping in the room, and I don't understand how you sleep through something like that. If there's pounding of hammers, it's just really
Like the kids weren't drugged?
Yeah.
Or also, what would be the motivation of killing everyone except for those two boys?
New theory.
Yeah.
Dad poisoned the kids' minds. Dad did it. Felt more connected to his sons because sons, father-son kind of type of relationship. The dad did it, and he didn't touch the boys because the boys were told to sleep through the entire thing.
Did the boys end up living with their dad?
With her ex-husband?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think he was involved in this, right?
He wasn't even
Where
like a
was he?
suspect?
Where was he at the time?
Sus.
This isn't a town with 66 people. He's got to be around somewhere.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now because now... But yeah, some of the modern forensics, I'm trying to think of what could have happened. I'm trying to see what happened to her ex-husband at the time. Because I know she left him. Damn, now I feel bad for not investigating more. I didn't think you guys were going to ask me these type of questions.
Told you. I actually said this morning that I should be a detective, did I not?
You
that
did.
I was going to switch my careers and be a detective. I said
It's
that
because
this
you
morning.
watch these damn these murder
And I
shows.
always figure it out. I always call it.
I mean, I wouldn't say you always call it, but you're pretty close on stuff like that. But yeah.
Just imagine, though, like, being a killer and then leaving 2 children alive, because now they have to live with that for the rest of their lives. Like that's
like the kids
more,
being.
Yeah, that's more brutal than the actual murder.
Yeah, it is kind of bizarre that you would just leave them alive.
Yeah, but I feel like psychologically, them sleeping through it is better than them watching the entire thing.
Yeah, but then you wake up and you're like, well, your whole family is almost dead, so
Yeah.
there you go.
So yeah, okay. So some suspected it was her ex James Sharp, but he was ultimately ruled out as being directly involved. So Sue had moved to Keddie, California with her 5 kids to escape the abusive marriage. James was reportedly a very controlling and abusive partner when they were together. Their marriage ended badly, and Sue sought a fresh start without him. That's why she moved across country from Connecticut to rural California. At first, the police briefly considered that the idea of James was involved, or he hired somebody, or orchestrated something out of revenge, or anger over the divorce, or custody for the kids. However, James was living in Connecticut at the time of the murders across the entire country, and he had a verified alibi. There was no evidence ever tied to him planning, hiring, or directing the crime. Eventually, authorities dismissed him as a suspect. Some people still in the true crime community theorize about him because of his abusive past, and because when you have an extremely violent and personal crime, you usually start looking at the spouse, like Geisha said. But again, there was no super hard evidence against him, which is why he was never,
Fair, but I also don't think you investigated enough.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Again, some of the DNA, like recent tests revealed that previously unknown DNA samples potentially link to Marty Smart. Obviously, I mean, it's when you say I killed them, but I didn't kill. Yeah, it's just weird. And then cases like the Golden State Killer show modern DNA technology can solve crimes like decades later, which you would think would provide more hope for Keddie.
It's probably not like a priority for the police department though to just like reopen their case.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, those are probably like the 2 biggest suspects. I'm not sure why it was never pushed. I mean, it seems like it's very much those 2 involved, Marty and Bo.
Small town, suspicious
friends of a sheriff. Yeah.
Suspicious husband.
Yeah. I don't.
Or what if like evidence has gone missing, so they can't reopen it, but they're not going to tell the public.
And I feel like with these type of crimes, with all crimes being discussed, I feel like when we bring it up, it's not like to bring up and hurt people's feelings about it, like the family or anybody listening. It's just more so like discussion, like, you never
know when you bring up cases like this, like people might get interested and start investigating and could like
help
figure
break
things
through.
out.
Yeah, there was like that one. I guess they didn't really. No, it was called someone. Don't fuck with cats or something like that. Yep. You remember that, babe?
Yep.
Yeah, and everybody started getting on because this guy hurt cats, and then everybody got involved, and they found out where he was, and arrested him.
I believe he was located in the Netherlands.
Ooh, you're going down, bud.
I could be completely wrong, though. I can't remember.
I really feel bad for the daughter. She was alive, and I feel bad, like, for the friend who was just caught in the mix and died or murdered.
That sucks.
Yeah.
The disrespect, though. Like, they're not even like, if it was the husband, like, they're not even involved in your family.
Yeah.
You're just like getting rid of them to get rid of them.
But yeah, that's all I got on this one. I mean, those are the 2 biggest suspects. I mean, there's really, you could say your theories, but I mean, I feel like we all know the main theory.
Those people are probably like super close to dying now. The suspects.
Yeah, they probably or are dead already.
Or are dead.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got. That's all I have for this.
Cool.
Yeah.
I liked your guys's.
I would have got more into it. I should have got more into it. I knew you guys were going to ask me some crazy questions.
You should have known. Geisha loves mysteries.
Yeah, she's like, okay, where is this guy? Why didn't they investigate the husband?
No. You tell me to do my research all the time. I came prepared.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, do you guys like our new sign? You can't,
I was going to point it out.
But It's super cool.
It's actually it's pretty big. You just can't really.
Yeah, you should
really
stand by it.
Stand by it?
Yeah, for reference.
Oh, yeah.
For reference, Blacklabel is a tall 6'2" man.
6'1.5".
6'1.5" man.
6'2". But yeah, that's all I got for this episode. We'll bring back games. We'll bring back games next week. Just wanted to talk about something else, you know.
I have been playing Fields of Mystria. It's very fun.
It is, isn't it?
I enjoy it.
Who are you macking up right now, though?
What's the guy's? I don't know how to pronounce his name. Reese.
Oh, Reese.
Yeah. I like that one.
Yeah.
I like March just because he's a pain in my tushy.
If his brother was an option,
yeah,
I'd go for his brother. He used
to be able to mac up both of them, but for some reason they took him out. What's his name?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about Fields of Mystria.
Or what's his name? Starts with O.
Ulrich.
Yeah.
Ulrich.
Yeah.
It's very fun.
I've been playing Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Expedition.
Yeah, It's pretty good.
Yeah, you said it was like Persona and
like Final Fantasy 14, 15.
Yeah. It gives me 15.
Style.
It gives me 15 vibes.
Yeah.
Like,
it gives
what's the genre?
RPG.
RPG.
Yeah. It gives me like 15 and Monster Hunter vibes.
Very good game.
Yeah.
We'll discuss that stuff later.
Yeah, next time.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Wait.
Wait. Keep grinding those levels and finishing those side quests.
As always, this has been Co-op Chronicles with PintsizedGeisha, Blacklabel, and me, Azzilee.
Bye.
We gather round the mic, tales of knights and dice. Gaming worlds collide, hobbies come alive. Azzilee and Geisha chat, Blacklabel's where it's at. Movies and stories told, secrets to unfold. Co-op Chronicles, come and join the